Well, we're recording. Sort of.
Okay, the following may not be appropriate for all audiences. You know, language, whatnot.
Are you not entertained?
Thank you. Welcome, one and all, to the Low Fact Podcast. Matt, Andy, and Dave coming to you live via tape delay and heavy editing on the part of Andy. He's
Yes!
He's been giving up his Saturday nights for y'all. For you!
And just so you know, I know there's not much difference, but before I was doing the editing, and I'm sure you guys won't notice much of a difference, but now Andy's doing it, so it might be a little bit better.
Well, I thought there's tons of difference.
Oh, come on, man!
A little sound quality difference, you know? Not too biggie.
So depressed.
Why?
I thought I was doing okay.
What are you doing?
And then I got the first edited episode from Andy, and I was like, this is way better than anything that I can edit.
Well, you're doing okay for somebody who don't know what he's doing.
Yeah,
That's a good point.
that's true.
I mean, if Andy's stuff sounded like yours, I'd be like, shit, Andy, what the fuck?
When I got the files, I kept listening between mine and yours. It's like, if it sounds the same, they're going to give me so much shit. I have to somehow either make it louder or just throw something different because, oh my God, they will be relentless. You went to school for this? You idiot.
And, you know, just between you and us, Andy doesn't know this, but once we know him better, we're going to give him shit for it anyway. So, you know, this is just him feeling good about what he's doing because we don't know him that
They're
well.
stroking my ego pretty good right now.
We'll post something and be like, what the fuck was that, dude?
Strangely, I like that criticism a little more. It's like, oh, at least I know what I can fuck up on. Like what I can do better on.
Well, I think Dave's going to give it to you straight. I tend to be very effusive.
You don't
In
like
case you haven't noticed.
You don't like shooting it straight?
I just like to always be liked by everybody, which doesn't really work very well.
Well, no, it actually does. I mean,
I'm the same way.
that would probably make you guys a lot more popular, and
But I think it leads to more problems too. Like if you're just being ultra nice and trying to be nice all the time.
well, the converse is not any better. If you're always honest, then everyone thinks you're a prick.
Yeah, but then everyone leaves you alone, and that sounds kind of nice.
For a while, it is.
For a while, I could enjoy that for a while.
You know, if you're a pretty unsocial type of person, then yeah, it's cool. But if you're a person that kind of wants some sociability, social interactions, which I believe we all are. I mean, as much as we'd like to think.
Semi-social.
Well, no, it's social. There's no semi about it. You're actually being social. You don't have to.
We were talking about this earlier, and I asked you the question off the podcast. I asked you the question, do you consider yourself to be an introvert and extrovert? And you said neither.
Yeah, I don't.
You said you like to be by yourself, but
I do.
when you're with people, you like to be with people.
Dude, when I am by myself, there is nothing better. And there was a period of time when I was always by myself, and it kind of drove me a little nutty, but that's because I was really young. You know, just out of college and just working all the time, that it kind of...
So you were just basically working, eating, and sleeping.
Yes.
That doesn't sound like fun.
It wasn't, but it was really good to learn. And then right after grad school, kind of the same deal. But I had a circle of friends, so I don't think it was really just the situation that I was in, which was just heavily oriented towards work and not really getting anywhere. You're both kind of looking at me like I'm strange.
No, I kind of get it because I like to be alone a lot. I do like to just hang up on myself. It's relaxing. I don't have to hear people's shit. But when I am around a lot of people, I enjoy it. Like I tend to want some of the attention. Like I like to interact. I like to be a little loud. So I get it. Being alone is definitely a luxury. And oh my God, it's just so relaxing. But then when you're hanging around certain people, and it's just fun. It's entertaining.
And certain people being operative.
And it's one of those things. Even if you're around people you hate, if you're around that all the time, and then you don't get it, then for some reason something happens to you. You don't like being by yourself.
Even if you're around people who are despicable.
If you spent a long chunk of time being around, being in a situation, then that change, the change in and of itself is not only kind of, it takes some adjustment. It's kind of weird, but at first you really just don't like it. And I think about it in this way. When you think of all the elderly folks that get conned, you know, invariably it's usually someone that just lost a spouse that they'd been married to for like decades. And so, you know, this person could be a sociopath, could be a total loner or whatever anyway, or could have been, but because they were in this little community and they were always with this other person, that when that's gone, you just kind of don't know what to do with yourself. And plus there's that whole thing about older people not being able to adapt as well and blah, 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 blah. So I totally see that happening. And I don't look negatively at all at that situation, because I'm just like, dude was used to having people around and now they're no longer around. So yeah, I can see you just kind of.
So you feel bad for them. You feel sympathy for like the elderly con. It's because they're lonely.
I feel sympathy for a lot of, actually, I feel more empathy for people, but in my mind, empathy and sympathy are different.
Definitely.
Okay.
I feel what you mean.
Okay.
You don't sympathize them, but like you do feel for them. Like,
Well,
I get it. I get it kind of.
I understand, right? Because
Right.
I know what it would be like or how it could happen. But
Ever been in a situation where you have to be around someone you hate for long periods of time?
Oh yeah.
How'd you feel after? Did you feel the same way? Like, oh, thank God I'm finally gone, or fuck, I missed the interaction?
To tell you the truth, it was more B.
Really? You missed the interaction?
I remember.
get that, man.
I remember times when I was with some people for years, and you know, they wouldn't be my friends if I had any choice.
So these people are your friends?
No, these were people that I had to be with, work with. We were in a.
Oh, right.
It makes it sound like I was in jail, but
You know, some consider job jail.
but these were people that I would not interact
You're not
with.
socializing with them outside of work.
Oh yeah, we were.
So you were acquaintances, at least.
I had spent so much time with these people. I knew them inside and out, and they knew me inside and out.
Sometimes it's worse when you don't give fucking context.
And-
it just
and-
sounds worse.
And we didn't like each other as people very much.
Right.
But there was nothing that we wouldn't do for the other person.
That's
It's almost like family.
well. It's
Yeah,
not.
that's true with family. Like you go through all sorts of shit with family,
Oh, true. No,
and like you put up with stuff and continue to deal with them because they're family. But otherwise, you might never want to deal with them. If it was like a stranger, you'd be like, "This is too much."
we would never be
If
friends, kind of a thing.
Yeah, but you know, even strangers. I mean, if you think about it, you could be stuck on a desert island, you yourself,
Right.
with like a Klansman. And for those of you out there that don't know, we are pretty ethnically diverse here, even though we sound like a bunch of
White guys.
European Americans. But you know,
Well, there's like 2/3 diversity.
that's pretty good.
You know, companies would kill for those numbers.
I'm telling you, 66% diversity. I mean,
I think
come
some
on.
companies are going for 2/3 diversity.
2/3.
When you see the hangout day pictures, I'm like, damn.
It's a lot of color.
But that presupposes something that I don't think is true. But going on the other thing,
Yeah.
if you were on a desert island with a Klansman,
Right.
you guys would end up being friends.
I think it's either we're friends or one of us dies. It's one. It's got to be an extreme.
No, you would have to be friends because if it was just two of you, what are you gonna do? You're gonna kill the other guy and then like go
well,
crazy?
if he really, really hated me, possibly.
But he,
Meat.
Right.
Cannibalism.
but I don't think that in that scenario that he would.
Right. But if it was a situation where
Because it's
it took
survival.
the both of you to survive, then just by being there together,
We would be buddies.
yeah.
Okay.
Just like if you were stuck on a desert island with a woman of breeding age,
Breeding age.
or just a woman in general, like she
Yeah,
could be
yeah.
as old as your mom. After a while, you'd be like, "Hey, mommy."
Why did you have
She'd
to
be
put
like-
the mom example?
she'd be like,
oh my
Hi,
god.
Poppy.
Wait, is this incest now? This is-
Not with your actual mother.
I know, but
Might be your cousin
I'm a
though.
little too visual.
It was
Second or third cousin?
does it
First
matter?
cousin, bro.
You're right. It doesn't matter.
First cousin.
I was just trying to bust out my Latin impression.
Sorry, I took this to a weird place.
That's okay. It's fine.
Alright.
But I will say this about myself, to you guys listening and to Andy here. I tend to talk like the people I'm around, and I can see how that could be construed as incredibly offensive.
Depends who you're hanging out with.
Well, and it's not something that I try to do. But if I'm a room full of black people, all of a sudden I will get some soul, and
Sometimes you have soul on the podcast.
and that's just not,
Nice.
some people just don't like that.
No, I get you. When I'm hanging around other Hispanics, I don't know. I'll throw Spanish words in. I barely know Spanish,
Okay.
but there's this need to like.
You'll be all like, Simone, hey Holmes.
There's the racism.
See what I'm saying?
I know what you mean, and yeah, when I'm speaking with like a bunch of black friends, every now and then I'm like, "Yo," or "What's up?" And with
Hey, cuz.
every now and then, and with white guys, I tend to nothing really changes.
You just kind of tense up your butt cheeks a little bit.
A little bit. I have my ID ready, just in case.
You just make your accent sound whiter than it does right now.
A little bit, like oral.
But you sound like a white guy, though.
Yeah, my Spanish it's not there. Like I barely speak it. I'm a typical millennial, English, Americanized. God bless the red, white, and blue.
Well, you're a perfect example of a statistic that I've busted out on the podcast before, and the backstory on this is when I was younger and thinking about getting married, I wanted to marry an ethnically Korean female because I'm ethnically Korean. I don't know why. They all hate me. I've never had any success with them, but
I feel you.
But I was sitting there thinking, I'm gonna do the right thing and be super ethnic. But if I wanted to be super ethnic, I could have just emigrated and gone to Korea, which never crossed my mind.
I just find it funny that the American-born Asian chicks don't like you at all.
It's
the American-born ones, right?
Yes.
They hate you.
What do you think they hate about you?
I think they can do better, which is true, but it seems not to be a thought.
It's not because they look at you and go, "Oh, this guy's not going to put up with any games or any shit that I might be giving him."
That's what I tell myself, because they look at me and they basically think, "Oh, this guy's going to be pretty much like my dad." So
there's a lot of girls who like that.
There are, and I thank God for them. But I think a lot of what was I saying?
But at
the chicks, the Asian chicks.
Yeah, how they don't like you.
Yeah, they don't. So anyway, I was trying to marry a Korean chick, so that I had this idea like my kids would speak Korean and all this junk, and then I came across this statistic that said 98% of children of immigrant, like myself and you, Andy,
right,
can speak their parents' language.
How many?
98%. Like it's in the high 90s, like 95%.
So the kid of the immigrants.
Shit.
First generation.
So you're a slacker right off the bat on that.
I'm that 2%.
Yeah, he's a 2% right
I'm
there.
that 2%.
Loser.
But by the time kids like us, either first generation kids or second generation kids, have kids, it becomes like the third generation, right?
Right.
They can't. Like the statistic gets
Also, he's
reversed.
second generation. Kid of the immigrant is second or first generation?
The kid of the immigrant born here
is second generation.
Would be second generation.
Okay.
If you came with them, if you came with them, then you'd be considered like first generation. Somebody coined the term 1.5, but I just thought that was kind of dumb.
1.5 generation.
Yeah.
Sounds like lazy labeling.
It is, and I think
moronic labeling.
So so the second generation kids tend not to be able to speak. So if I had children with a ethnically Korean woman, chances are like 95, 98%, those kids would not be able to speak Korean because I can barely speak Korean as it is.
It's just because everybody gets Americanized immediately.
Well, that's good.
It's like America, man. It's
That's
like
good.
fucking America.
Because
America.
We will end with this. I am really, really, really against the hyphenated American.
You mean
Korean American, Asian American, African American, Czech American. I mean, if they did it right, then it would be like English American, German American,
Kiwi American. America.
you're first generation. You came here, so you're.
Oh.
But you know, I just
Way to boost my balloon, bro.
that's okay. Because I just don't like. I don't like the I'm an Irish American. Like, dude, your family came here in the 1840s. You have been in America your family has been in America for over 270 years. You can't sit there and say the only connection to Ireland you have anymore is your last name,
And Guinness.
which is not even Irish anymore, is it?
I know. That's what makes it better.
And that's like a lot of the Chinese,
Sure,
right?
they still haven't made Guinness in Ireland.
I think it's owned by a different company.
Oh, really?
I don't know. I'm just making that up. But that's the thing with like the Chinese, right? There are Chinese families that have been here for over 200 years. And because they decide to be insular and marry other Chinese families, they still look Chinese. They're like, oh, well, you're Chinese. Like, dude, you're an American. To sit there and say that George Takei is like Japanese American is bullshit. He's American. He was born here. Of course, he was also put in a concentration camp, but
He's old.
American concentration camps were not as bad as. I mean, it's like we don't do concentration camps right here, and God bless us for that.
Are you saying outsourced concentration camps are better than American concentration camps?
Well, European ones are a lot more harsh.
Except the British. Apparently the British camps were all right.
Did they have concentration camps?
Well, they had camps that they keep the POWs in after the war.
That's different.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking about like in World War I, where if you were German, they put you in a camp.
Oh, they happened in World War One as well?
Oh, yeah.
America?
Yeah.
Wow, you guys are like 2 for 2 on World Wars.
Well, Americans love camping.
Americans don't fuck around. I mean, you know, the
You don't fuck around with your xenophobia?
There's definitely a hint of that.
yeah. I mean, you know, if you think about it, because yeah,
I mean, that's just stupid.
what?
What they did. Because people are American, they're American. Like, why put them in a camp?
Yeah, but they look different. That's really it. That was their argument.
But they're Americans.
But they look different.
With the Germans, I mean, I don't know. There was pretty much there was a lot more Germans than I think Germans were a big immigrant base.
Oh,
here.
they were, yeah.
Like Cleveland, Ohio
They
used
all
to be
go
called.
the Midwest.
Well, yes and no. But anyway, I forget what we were talking about. We're kind of going on a roll here, but we have to stop because studies have shown that you guys don't listen to us for more than 15 minutes. So
Studies have shown that people don't listen for more than 2.5 minutes.
that's a bullshit study. My study's correct.
Okay.
So thank you all for listening. Keep listening.
You can find us on Twitter, Instagram at lowfatpodcast. You can email us. Please email us, lowfatpodcast@gmail.com, or you can just search Low Fat Podcast and find us on Stitcher, iTunes, and YouTube, or wherever else you pick up your feed. Thank you.